For years, the media dismissed concerns about President Joe Biden's cognitive health. Critics were labeled as conspiracists, partisan hacks, or worse. But now, some of the very journalists who once defended Biden are sounding the alarm. What changed? Why no? And what does this shift reveal not just about the president, but about the press?
Anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union, Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight.
Jake Tapper, one of CNN's most prominent anchors, once brushed off talk of Biden's cognitive decline. In 2020, he criticized those who raised concerns, including then-campaign surrogate Lara Trump. But in 2025, Tapper did something few expected. He changed his mind. Tapper co-authored the book Original Sin, revealing insider accounts of Biden's cognitive lapses, stories from Democratic allies who described the president forgetting names, losing his train of thought, and struggling even in private meetings. He now says the White House's cover-up was, quote, perhaps even worse than Watergate. And he's publicly apologized to Lara Trump. Carl Bernstein, yes, the same Carl Bernstein who helped expose Watergate, has also stepped forward. He reports that sources close to Biden observed 15 to 20 episodes of cognitive decline over the last year and a half. Bernstein was not previously known for defending Biden, but his decision to speak out marks a dramatic moment in mainstream journalism. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, and Seth Meyers, once active Biden campaign supporters, have mostly stayed silent or continued to defend the president. CNN's Arlette Saenz, who echoed the White House narrative in earlier years, has not publicly reversed course either. So what flipped the switch for Tapper and others? First, the June 2024 debate.
Make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the
Biden's performance, marked by long pauses, slurred speech, and confusion, was a turning point. Tapper, who co-moderated the debate, admitted being stunned. Second, first-hand testimony. Tapper and co-author Alex Thompson interviewed over 200 insiders. They described Biden losing his way in meetings, forgetting close allies, even struggling to recognize George Clooney. And finally, the realization that many in the media missed or ignored the signs. Tapper now calls for soul-searching among journalists. After Biden left office, new stories began to surface. Secret Service whistleblowers started talking. One agent claimed Biden would become disoriented in the mornings, once even getting lost inside his own closet in the White House residence.
No, I don't think so, Sean. Listen, I'll tell you something that I haven't said before because it came from a Secret Service whistleblower this past year. I talked to so many of them after the attempted assassinations of President Trump. But this Secret Service whistleblower actually was assigned to Biden, and he told me that Biden used to get lost in his closet.
Saying it highlights how far Biden's decline had gone and how hard his team worked to hide it. So if the signs were there, why didn't Biden's cabinet act? The answer? Loyalty, silence, and fear. Cabinet members publicly defended Biden's competence. Some, like Pete Buttigieg and Janet Yellen, insisted he was still sharp even late in his presidency. There was no internal consensus, no defining crisis, and no political will to invoke the 25th Amendment. Behind the scenes, a conspiracy of silence kept the truth under wraps until it could no longer be ignored. In the end, it wasn't one gaffe, one headline, or one journalist. It was a slow drip of truth, ignored for too long. Jake Tapper now says the concealment was worse than Watergate. Carl Bernstein says the pattern is unmistakable. But others remain silent, even as the facts stack up. This isn't just a story about a president's health. It's a story about the press and what happens when truth takes a backseat to politics.